Hello students, this is second video under the chapter Atoms and Molecules. We have learned about the two laws of chemical combination and today we will study about the Dalton's theory. So the two laws of chemical combination were law of conservation of mass, we know this, and the second law was law of constant or definite proportion. So when these laws were given by Antoine Lavoisier and Proust, after the laws were given, the scientists were in a puzzle to know the correct explanation of these laws, and this explanation was given by John Dalton. He was a British chemist, and in 1808 he has given a theory which explained these two laws, and this theory was known as Dalton's atomic theory. We will learn today Dalton's atomic theory. What Dalton did, he took the word atom, as the Greeks were given this word atom, and he also considered that atom is indivisible. It cannot divide further. And based on these two principles, Dalton was able to explain the correct nature of matter. Explaining these two principles and about the nature of atom and matter, he gives 6 postulates which are known as Dalton's theory of atom or Dalton's atomic theory. So we will consider all the postulates one by one and try to understand the 6 postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. The first is that atoms are very tiny particles and all the matter, anything, you can take anything anywhere, they are formed of these atoms. These atoms are the building blocks of each and every matter. It may be element, it may be compound, it may be mixture, but the atom is the ultimate unit or the building block. As bricks made a house or cells made our body, all the living organisms, they are made up of cells. Likewise, each and everything, every matter, it is made up of atoms. Atoms are very small, tiny particles and they are indivisible. That is, they cannot be broken down further into sub-particles. So this is the first postulate. They are very tiny and they cannot divide further. The second postulate is atoms cannot be created and nor destroyed. What does it mean? When we were studying law of conservation of mass, we have given a definition of this law that mass cannot be created and cannot be destroyed, neither created nor destroyed. So when we know that mass is due to these atoms, so we can say atoms cannot be created and or destroyed. What happens in a chemical reaction? They rearrange themselves. Atoms can go to some other substance can be formed and they have a new combination. If we see, suppose we have CaCO3 and the atom of calcium, carbon and oxygen are there, they are present in the calcium carbonate. After the chemical reaction, when it is heated, what happens? CaO is formed and carbon dioxide is removed. So what happens here? 3 oxygen are present, 2 plus 3. 3 are here present, 1 calcium is present here, 1 calcium is present here, 1 carbon is present here, 1 carbon is present here. So all the atoms which are present before the reaction, they rearrange themselves after the reaction also. No new atoms are formed and no atoms they are destroyed. So this is the second postulate. Atoms cannot be created nor destroyed. They can rearrange themselves after the chemical reaction. So this is the second postulate, and on this postulate, this law of conservation of mass can be explained. How it can be explained? Because in this law we have seen that mass is conserved. We have seen, we have done an activity where we have taken barium chloride plus sodium sulfate. What is formed? BaCl2 plus BaSO4 plus NaCl is formed. Here we write 2 NaCl and this is the equation. What we have seen, that before and after, all the atoms which are present before, and suppose we have taken that the mass of this complete setup is 300 gram. When we weigh this setup after the reaction, it was also 300 grams. So we have seen here that the total mass is conserved. It is neither less nor it is more. And as far as atoms are concerned, the number of the atoms is fixed. No new atoms are there and no atom is lost. If here it is 2Cl, then here we have written 2 here, so 2Cl is here. If here is 2Na, then 2Na is here. So on Dalton's second postulate, this law of conservation of mass can be explained, that mass can neither be created nor destroyed, or the mass remains same before and after the chemical reaction. It is conserved or it is preserved. So this is the second postulate. The third postulate is, all of us know that elements, they combine to join compounds, and these compounds, they are formed by some chemical reaction. There are some bonds. We will learn about the bonds in later chapters. First, now we know that compounds are formed by combining of elements. So in a compound which is made up of a single element, all the atoms, they are same. Or we can say an element, a single element has all the atoms of same kind. They have same mass and they have same property. So we can write here, an element has same atoms with same mass and same properties. What does it mean? It means an element has all the atoms alike. So for example, suppose we take a diamond. Diamond, all of you know, diamond is carbon. Diamond is a pure form of carbon. It is made up of carbon. Suppose it is a diamond. So all the atoms in this diamond, they are carbon, 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 carbon. All the atoms, this element diamond, it is made up of same type of atom. All the atoms are carbon. They have same mass. The atomic mass of carbon is 12U. So all the carbon atoms, they have the same mass 12U and they have the same property. So what does it mean? An element has same atoms with same mass and same properties. Suppose we have a gold block. So all the atoms, this is the formula for symbol for gold, aurum or gold. So all the atoms of this gold will have Au, 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 Au with same mass and same properties. So this is this Dalton's third postulate. Now about the fourth postulate of Dalton, these are very simple, just a theoretical explanation of these two laws. So the fourth postulate is that different elements have different atoms with different mass and properties. So it is just obvious when one has same type of, this is the other one has the other type of atom and atoms. So if we take two different elements, suppose we took these two again, two different elements, one is diamond, other is gold plate. So they have different type of atoms whose mass is different and whose properties are different. No two elements can have same type of atom with same mass and properties. If element is different, then it is mandatory that the atom of that element should be different from the previous one. Like diamond has only carbon and gold has these gold atoms. So this is the fourth postulate of Dalton, and the fifth postulate is, we know that atoms join to form compound. So in a compound, atoms, there may be two or more than two atoms present in whole numbers. What does it mean? That is, atoms cannot be present in fractions. For example, if we have carbon dioxide or if we have water, this is a compound, this is a compound. So hydrogen is present, two atoms of hydrogen are present and one atom of oxygen is present. They are whole numbers. It cannot be possible hydrogen is present 1.5 or 1.5 hydrogen is present and one more than 1 or less than 1 oxygen is present. They are present in whole numbers in fixed ratios. Here 1 carbon, 2 oxygen are present. So if a compound is formed, these atoms, they show a whole number and not the fraction of the atom, because atoms cannot be divided into subparticles. So they are present in whole numbers. So this is the fifth one. Now the sixth one, the sixth postulate, it describes or explains the second law of chemical combination, that atoms are present in fixed or definite proportion. So what is the sixth one? In a compound, what is compound? It is made up by two or more elements by chemical reaction, by chemical bonding. In a compound, atoms are present in fixed proportions. It is somewhat like this. In fixed proportion means if we have done this in the when we were doing laws of chemical combination, and on this postulate the second law, it is explained, law of definite combination or definite proportion or constant proportion. So what does it mean? In a compound, again we have taken this example of H2O. Whether we have this H2O from river or pond or tap or sea, always if it is water, it will have hydrogen and oxygen in a fixed proportion. There we were using the word by mass. So the mass will be 1:8. But here we do not use the word mass, but just say that if two or more than two elements are present, atoms of two or more than two elements are present in a compound, their proportion is fixed. Like here 2:1 is the proportion. If it is ammonia, then 1:3 by number. This proportion is by number. So these are 6 postulates of Dalton's atomic theory on which the 2 laws of chemical combination are dependent, and this theory is the explanation of these 2 laws, and it correctly defines the nature of matter. And Dalton had said very correctly that all the matter, it is made up of small particles, indivisible, known as atoms. Now we will see there are some drawbacks of Dalton's theory as per the knowledge we have today. At that time, this theory was perfectly correct, but with today's knowledge, we can have few drawbacks of Dalton's theory. At that time, it was not known these facts, and the first is, now we know atoms can be divided, and the subatomic particles, all of you know, are electrons, protons and neutrons. We will learn these in the next chapter. So the subatomic particles of atom are these, but still till today also this atom is the functional unit of matter. Though it can be divided into subparticles, but still it is functional unit. So this is one of the drawbacks. Dalton said it cannot be divided, but now we know it has some subatomic particles. Second, according to Dalton, an element has the atoms of same mass. But now we know there are some isotopes. We will learn them in the next chapter. What isotopes are? Like the isotope of carbon. The same atom carbon, in some matter it has 12 as atomic number, in others it has 14 as atomic number. So the same atom carbon can have different masses. It is again a drawback. At that time it was not known. And the third drawback is about the isobars. What are isobars? Dalton said that two different elements will have different masses. But now we know that calcium and argon, they are different elements, but their masses are 40 or their number is 20. I am not. So isobars are when two different elements, they have same mass, then it is known as isobars. So it is again a drawback of Dalton's theory. With this, Dalton theory is completed, and in the next video we will learn about atoms and molecules. This is all for today. Thank you.